Okay, the first thing you're going to do is download this 3 poster template. Just click on your download right here. And for this template, there's multiple things within the layers that you're going to need. So just double click on it and it's going to open in your Illustrator. So you should have all these poster one background, typography, all that jazz. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is depending on how you did your color scheme, if you already have all your hex numbers written out, you can easily double click and you can type in your hex number there. So let's say this was my hex number, I would click OK. And then you can take it and you can just drag it over and you want to make your swatches. The other thing is you could do, if something like Adobe Color, you can, go here, you can manipulate and, you can change things around. So let's say I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to Command Shift 4, take a screenshot, and then I'm going to put that screenshot, whoops, daisies. Let me try that again. Command Shift 4. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to minimize this, and then I'm going to drag this into, oh, okay. So if you get this error, then what I have to do is if I scroll down, here are my little hex numbers. So again, I'm just going to Command C. I'm going to go to Illustrator, double click, Command V, click OK, drag it over. So we can be very quick with that. Command C, go to Illustrator, double click, drag it over, etc., etc. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do is on my instructions, it says that we are going to be working with our poster one background layers and we're going to be doing our color schemes. Now, each poster does need a different color. So I'm going to click poster one background. I'm going to click once and I'm going to do the first color of my color scheme or whichever one you want. Once I do that, I immediately lock it. Then I go to poster two. I select it. Then I go to my next color that's a part of my color scheme. I immediately lock it. Then I go to poster 3. I select it, go to the next color of my color scheme, and I immediately lock it. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to be working on poster 1 typography. By working on poster one typography, I need to make sure that I have my fonts downloaded. So you can go to defont.com. Maybe, I found, actually, I'm a sans serif girl, so let's go there. So let's say I like something like Plasto. Okay, so I'm going to click download. Again, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click the zip. You want to keep double clicking. So that was it zipped. I'm going to keep double clicking until I find the OTF or .ttf. So this font has a lot of different options with it. So I'm just going to do an extra bold for now. Once you double click on it, you are going to click install. All right, so once I click install, it should pop up in Illustrator. So let's see if it did that. So I'm in Illustrator and I'm going to go to Window, Type, and then Character. And it was called Plasto, so I can just type that in, and there it is, perfect. So I'm going to choose one of my colors, and then right now it has a black stroke, so I don't necessarily want that. I'm going to click my T. Now it's important, you just click once. So for my first letter, I'm going to do that. I'm going to select my letter, hold down Shift, and I'm going to make it bigger, okay? Now, it didn't do the color that I wanted, but that's all right. I can always change it. And then I can hold down Alt if I want to make a copy of that. So Alt, the little double white arrow will appear and I can do that. So you're going to start your design by putting your letters in. Now the reason you want to click once is because you have the ability to make it bigger by clicking your Move tool, holding down Shift, and just dragging. If I did click and drag and did my letter and then clicked my Move tool and tried to make it bigger, it would not work, okay? So some of the things that you can think about is, let's say I have this and I'm like, oh no, I want to actually have this black letter be behind this. Just so you know, you can go to Object, Arrange, and you can do Send Backwards. Now, if that doesn't work right away, you can keep doing it. So I did the keyboard shortcut Command backwards bracket, and that does it. Okay, so that's something that you can play around with. Another thing that always looks cool is if you actually do a no fill for your letter and then you do a stroke. Don't forget, you can always make your strokes bigger as well. Another thing that you can play around with is manipulating your text. So maybe I want it to be a little more rotated. If you hover by the corner and you turn it, then you can rotate your letter. The other thing that I could do is I could go to Object, Transform, and Reflect, and then I could reflect it vertical or I could reflect it horizontal. So there's a lot of things that you could do, and then just click OK. So now my D is going the other way. And again, it's okay to have them go off the poster. A lot of times you might actually want that or like it. But let's get that. So another thing that I can do is manipulate it by creating outlines. So I'm going to select it with the Move tool, right click, create outlines, and then I'm going to select it with the direct select point, and then I can extend and manipulate my letter however I want. So that's another thing that I can do. So you're going to keep playing around with your first design, and you are going to be referencing your sketches for what to do for that design. Let me just make sure there's nothing else. We did type a letter, we rotated, manipulated, flipped it vertical, changed the order, and we created transparent letters. Great. Okay, so once you have your first poster designed, let's go to Window Layers. All right, so once this is done, I'm going to click my lock, and then I'm going to do the eyeball just so that I don't get confused. Now I'm going to start working on poster 2. So I know I probably have a different design for this one, and you're probably not going to be using, like these colors. But another thing that you can do again is, don't forget, you can do your stroke. You can do that. You can make it thicker if you want to, and all that stuff. So I'm just going to quickly make some designs here just so that I can show you guys the next steps. Okay, so if I do my eyeballs on both, like this just gets too confusing, which is why you just keep the eyeball, all right? And then I'm gonna lock that. So when you are done, you're going to lock all the layers, okay? Then I want to only start with my first poster. So by that means poster 1 typography and poster 1 background are going to be unlocked. So I've designed everything. These are my final steps. So I have unlocked everything. Sorry, I've unlocked everything on poster 1. Then what I do is I select my rectangle tool, and I am going, it's better to not have a stroke, by the way, and I'm going to, on poster 1 typography, so make sure that layer is activated, I'm going to click and I am going to drag around it. Then I'm going to go to select all, then I'm going to go to object, clipping mask, and make. And then you can see that it cleared everything, it cut off everything from the corners. Once that's good, I absolutely need to lock it. And now I'm going to unlock poster 2, and I'm going to make sure that it's visible. I'm going to click on poster 2 typography. I'm going to click my rectangle tool. Make sure that I do not have a stroke on it, and I'm going to cover it. I'm going to select all, object, clipping mask, make. All right, so I can tell I didn't do such a good job over here in that corner, so I would probably do it again, but that's okay for lock. Then at the very end, you are going to do this eyeball, the top stroke layer at the end. And again, that's just going to make everything look good. But again, if something is cutting off like that, you're just going to want to undo your clipping mask and try it again. If you don't know how to undo your clipping mask, basically what you would do is unlock it and unlock that. So, oops. I'm going to unlock everything on poster 2. So I'm going to click on it, and then you can just go to Object, Clipping Mask, Release, and then I could try it again. Okay, so that's just how to redo a clipping mask, and then you would save it and you would submit it. And that is the end of how you work.